Cool. So what are you going to see in this demo? We're going to kick off. We've made up a brand, Midwest Foods, and we're going to kick off with a brief. It's a typical brief. It's a global brief triggering local markets. We can then send on any workflow we want. So in this case, we're sending on a very simple workflow. We're involving the local markets in contributing to the brief, making sure their voice is heard. But you could be doing any sort of prioritization of the process. We're not going to dwell too much on planning. Screendragon does resource planning. We could be planning people in and doing demand planning of your agencies, but we're going to focus more on execution here. So more the project management and the content workflows. So this is now where you're beginning to see the integration with deliverable workflows. We're going to be, you won't even notice going into Chile. It's so sort of embedded in Screendragon. And we're going to link that up to any sort of workflow. Could be a compliance, could be any other workflow. And then delivery of the produced Chile asset following approval to any sort of dam or distribution system or syndication, whatever you want. So that's the use case. Okay, anything to say in there? We move on.
I was just, when you were describing this, I was thinking about the feedback of the unclear review process. And I think people will see that a lot of that is just baked in the configuration of the workflows. And you click a button and it goes on to the next. It lands on the desk of the right person in your organization. So I hope that people appreciate a lot of that confusion, potential confusion, is addressed in how the system is configured.
Yeah, so actually we'll be showing exactly that. This is actually, you're looking at Chile UX. Now it's a screen here, but we're showing it for real, embedded into Screendragon and us building in a workflow into the interface where we've just created a piece of content here and we can send it for approval. And you're going to be seeing this for real on the top, all different capabilities for a marketing organization to collaborate with their partners. So with that said, Martin, any questions? Just checking any questions to date while I jump in here into here. And we've created a very provocative homepage for Midwest Foods, Inc., creating sort of sauces and other sort of barbecue things. And you're seeing the homepage of Screendragon here, okay? And we've decided to activate these things on top, and you'll see various parts of this. And we've exposed different capabilities in the homepage as well. Just news about a launch here. This is where we could go into Chile directly to create content, but now we're going to send it on a very structured workflow. We're doing a little bit of KPI reporting here. We can build in sort of methodology about marketing or your way of marketing, like many have, and then other capabilities that we have, resource planning, marketing calendars, things like that. But coming back to the most important, well, second highest on the poll, briefs. So we're going to click into briefs, and we've got a number of briefs created already, like a good chef sort of food program. I've created stuff already here. I'm not going to create from scratch. So these are already in the mix, and we've sent them on workflows. This is what you see as Screendragon workflows, and we can come up with whatever workflow path and language we want. And I've got two tabs open here because I want to go into a different user type, local, global, if you get what I mean, so that we can get that interaction going here. So we've created this one here, Sizzle and Shine Summer Special, and we're going to click into that to show you an example of just one sort of workflow. So you see here, core campaign information, what are the business objectives, and we can associate content here as well. By the way, just a little roadmap item. We're working on using Gen AI here to train Screendragon to help write briefs based on past briefs and based on other corporate language education, etc. That's coming next year. Here on the right, we've got workflow collaboration between teams. We've got two people here, Matt, and we've got Gabriella, making comments, adding files, and here we have the brief approved. So when a brief's approved, it can create a project. Okay, so we're going to go into campaigns here, and we've got a sort of structure to campaigns: global initiatives, local activations, and marketing calendar. We're going to go in at a global to start with because I want to show you this. What I want to show you here is, yeah, a portfolio view. Yeah, you get this. But we've got a parent-child here. See this sizzle and shine summer special? We can open this out and we can see the local markets housed within. That one brief can trigger a parent and it can trigger children, and the children can inherit from the parent. We use that sometimes for budget information, that if the budget of the Dutch, the French, and the Spanish, it can add up and draw down from the global budget. That's just a fancy thing that we do. But I'll go into the parent because often you've got to develop the master content template. So Kees was mentioning it, that that sort of fast and efficient production comes after the creative process, and typically the global or regional team works to create the big idea, and then they create the master templates, and then they get adapted and adjusted for local conditions. So here we created a process that began with a briefing, big idea, tactical plans, campaign asset production, and rollout. You can come up with whatever you want here. This is where Screendragon is super configurable. And then here we've got the brief, the timeline, the budget, live market projects, and key docs. So, and of course, the approved brief is pulled in and housed within the parent. Couple of things here, key docs. You may want to put all your core insights, research, and all the thinking behind the project here. And of course, it can integrate with Dropboxes, boxes, SharePoints. But the key one here I want to show you is live market projects. This is where we're housing the children, okay? All the local projects. And they can all have different permissions where you have local teams possibly not seeing other local teams. I don't think you do that because normally it's good to have that together. And then we're going to trigger the Spanish one. We're now going to go in, and the Spanish one is a different process. Local planning, local adaptation, delivery. And we've got less capabilities because we only want them really to manage the timeline and do the content workflows, because they are inheriting the template from the master. And when the global team has done their work, they set on a workflow and it says now local market, local team, awaiting localization in here. So now we're getting very close to where Chile comes out to the fore, because we're going to click in here and we're going to allow somebody come in and say localize and adapt the content. So this is where we now begin, and we go into Chile, and now we're in a totally different, well, we're not in a totally different environment, we're in the same environment, but we now can edit, we can do stuff here. So yeah, I'm going to do stuff, Kees, and then you're going to call out all the other great stuff you can do. So this one, we're in Spain, but we've got it in English. Experience the great taste of summer. And we've got a kind of a UK retailer. So first of all, let's change the retailer. And I haven't got a Spanish one. I don't know whether Tesco is in Spain. Possibly has a few, but I'll pick Tesco. Tesco goes in. We also want to change that text. So I went to Google Translate earlier, and in case you're going to tell me probably that this can be done in bulk, I assume. Experimenta
yeah.
El Gran Sabor. I don't know whether Google Translate even does this. Del Verano. Verano. Experimento el gran sabor de verano. Okay. So experimento el gran sabor. So the template controls the font, it controls the room, it controls many, many different things. But you can then dynamically, this is where the fun happens, you can start changing around things with holding dimensions. So header card, and we're not exposing all the options here. Social square, circular ad, and I'm going to come to the best one, blade, and then animated. We can also create animated GIFs or MP4s or whatever automatically on the fly. So Kees, talk to us a bit more about what you can do here, what's coming down the road in terms of your roadmap.